Hello everyone, my name is Purti Chawla. I'm the manager here for Ielts at Leverage Edu. Welcome to this session. Today I'll be talking about the best ways in which you can prepare for your Ielts. So I'm sure all of you who are here are looking for Ielts prep. So let me give you an insight first before we begin with the session. This is actually a part of session 2 about what Ielts is so that you have a better, deeper understanding of it. All right, so Ielts is this proficiency test which is part of your application. So whichever English speaking country that you're planning to go to, you should take this exam also as part of your entire application. And Leverage Edu helps you with everything around your application. So, first step is to identify what courses or colleges would work for you, which countries have better prospectus, and, in the future, you would be able to build up good career options there. Then how and when to apply, what would go all in your application. Apart from this, post application services too, so loans, accommodation, and understanding how you can apply for scholarships as well. All of that is here with us, and part of this, all these services, is also test prep, so which is what Leverage Live, which is part of Leverage Edu, is there for. So we provide you with guidance and these live online classes so that you're able to prepare well, and then you take your exam confidently and give this score along with your application, or post that also if you get conditional offers. So depending on what your universities ask for, but you would have to take this exam. There are only hardly a few universities which give you this waiver, and that too later on they might give you a conditional offer and ask you to take the exam, and most of them for student visa and purposes, you would require Ielts. So it's not really difficult to crack it until you would prepare for it. As simple as that. So not really a difficult exam to crack if you are well prepared, if you're confident about taking it. So which is where I'm going to take you through in what ways you can do that and how you would prepare for it. For middle class students, if you mean by economic strata, so it has nothing to do with it. It all depends on your English ability. The exam is all about English, so they are going to ask you questions based on 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So they're trying to assess your proficiency in it. So all the questions are around checking your ability to understand and use English. So in listening and reading, it's all about they're checking your comprehension ability. So like in listening, they play different recordings and they're trying to assess your listening ability and comprehension and multitasking. So you are listening to it, you are understanding the question, and you're typing or writing your answer. These are all MCQ 1-word answers, so you don't really have to memorize longer sentences or something. The recording is played only once, so that's a challenge. So you have to ensure that you're reading the question carefully so you understand what is going to be asked and you answer in the same manner. In reading, they give you unseen paragraphs. So with other proficiency exams, you have different sort of questions. Here you only have unseen paragraphs. So it's reading comprehension. They give you 3 passages and there are 40 questions to answer. All the answers are there in the paragraph. You need to scan through and hunt for those answers. So there's a time boundation also required, which is 1 hour. So in the classes, you would understand how you have to identify those answers and quickly. Both the things would be taught. To strategies to uplift your overall reading skills, how to do that, plus targeting the specific questions that you get for Ielts. So it's not really tough when you practice. Then you have writing and speaking. So writing, every year Ielts, what they do is they give some data, and writing is the most challenging part of the entire exam. It is the area where the students score the least. So it is considered to be the most problematic area of the entire test, and rightly so. One is that they're very strict about the exam. So they are assessing you on different criteria, and if you don't fulfill that, they won't give you a score. It doesn't matter what or how much have you written. A very common error that students make is, I've explained so much and I've included so many points, I am bound to get a good band. But that's not what it is. This is again a myth. The more you write, the better you're going to score is not the mantra that IELTS follow. They're only always targeting quality over quantity. So it has to be written, both the answers in writing tasks, they have to be written in a specified, structured manner. If you don't do that, they won't give you marks. So that you need to understand first, what are the tasks, what are they asking for, and then you go on preparing according to what they want you to write. So it is very formal in nature. You can't use casual language. You have to write it in a specific pattern, and that's what you learn and understand and develop in the classes online. And then there's speaking, which will be the last module that they are going to assess, and it's a casual conversation between the examiner and yourself. So it's a one-on-one conversation which only lasts for about 11 to 14 minutes. You will have to go to the test center and meet the examiner. So the kinds of questions they ask you here and the topics they're asking you are very everyday areas of interest, or things that you discuss with your friends or colleagues or co-workers or people around you. But they want you to speak, and they want you to speak in a certain way. So because they're trying to give you a grade based on your speech in just under 15 minutes, you would have to use certain kinds of vocabulary and phrases to understand, okay, if I go in answering this way, I have better chances and I'm likely to score higher. But of course, you would have to speak. So you have to understand what is it that they're trying to assess in all the three parts of English. And I get this, common question that you aren't really good at English, or you are hesitant, or you don't know how to write, you don't know how to brainstorm ideas. So that's exactly what you're going to get to do in the classes. So in these online sessions, we provide you with the correct guidance as well as the opportunity to understand this is how you have to go about writing your answers or speaking, or both in listening, reading as well. Okay, let me see this question. I'm not perfect in English, speaking English. I can understand, but I can speak. What can I do now? So absolutely, which is what I'm saying, Tia, that you have to understand first how to give the answer and then practice. It's, the exam is like learning any other skill. So for instance, you learn how to drive. So in the 1 month or 15-day practice, whichever course you choose, you would be able to understand this is what the examiners are looking for, and this is how I have to answer the questions. And then you practice and send your answers to the instructor for feedback. And you work on those loopholes or your weak areas and work on your strengths to uplift your overall band. So in order to score a better, band in IELTS, you don't have to take the test in multiple times. That doesn't help. What helps is working on your ability, language ability, working on areas where you need to develop. So which is what I would also, come to make you understand how you need to prepare for it. There is no pass or fail in IELTS. They are grading you on your proficiency. So either they say that you are, a good user of English, a competent user, a basic user, very good user, excellent user. So that's how it has levels in your speaking ability. Most of the universities, they ask for a 6.5 band score. That's how IELTS are grading you, between a 1 to 9 band. So this mark that you're going to get, this score you get is called a band score, between 1 to 9. Most universities ask for 6.5, 7. This is the range that they're asking for. There are many who, would also want, let's say, a 5.5. Most of them 6 above. So that's what then the target becomes. 7+ is always the target, because then you are in a safe zone. Nobody's going to question your application or your proficiency because of your IELTS score. So individually in all the 4 modules, you need to have a certain level, whatever your university asks for. So whether 6 or 6.5, and overall. So that is the average of all these 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. That's your overall band. So that you share, that also you should aim for as a 7+. So that's how they are going to check, even the universities, your English ability and this. All right, so different ways in which you can prepare for it, and common questions which students ask, when do I do it, why should I do it? I would address all of that. So the first step is, how much time would you need to prepare for IELTS? So one is that it is very subjective. So I might require, let's say, only 15 days or a month. Somebody else might require 10 days. And then there's the third person who requires, let's say, 2 months. So, which is why it is always, better that you start early with your preparation, so that you identify which areas you need to work more on, and hence that forms an idea for you that these many days I need to prepare for my IELTS. So if at present you think that your basics are clear, so fundamentally with grammar and everything you don't have an issue, you are able to understand native speech as well, you are able to comprehend most of what people are saying and answer not repeating their words, you are able to use a variety of vocabulary, and you can speak much. So then you would just require this 20-25 days or month intensive practice of how you can prepare for IELTS. If you feel that otherwise your English ability is lacking a bit, and you think probably you need to work on your grammar, or you need to have more, you need to absorb more vocabulary or idioms, or you need more practice with formal writing, or reading quickly, all of that. So if you feel that that is something that you are facing, then you might need more practice. So let's say 1 month of classes, and then you go on practicing 10 days or 15 days by yourself, wherein you will keep in touch with the instructor and keep sending answers and getting feedback. And then when you feel that you're prepared, okay, while taking the mock test and all that, which we are going to provide you, you are faring well and you are reaching that 7, 7.5 or even 8, 8.5, then you are confident to take the exam. So always give yourself time and get a kickstart. So start early, start with your prep. Don't leave it in the last, that this is just an English exam, so I'm going to very quickly do it. Don't be overconfident about it. You certainly would need help in certain areas. Seek that help and prepare well and take it. And all these things that you're going to learn in the class would not just help you to crack IELTS, but otherwise also later when you go to university, you're going to meet so many people, you have to give presentations, work on papers. So this language that you acquire, or how you have to write the answers formally, how you can scan through the text, all of this is going to help you later on in your university study also. So join the classes, take help of experts, understand strategies, practice, and then be confident when you're taking your exam. Okay, yes, TR. So 14,700. It actually varies depending on the area, but in India, at present, 14,700 is the fee for the exam. So at present, we are also providing discounts on our classes. There are different kind of batches, which I'm going to explain as well. So you can refer to these discounts, go to the website, and then you'll be able to enroll for the classes. Okay, Kunal, you're very bad at writing. How can you improve daily basis? Yep. I'll just come to this as well. Don't worry. All right, so the first step you take is to identify this fact that you have to always start early. Don't leave it in the last bit, and prepare accordingly. Because there are 2 kinds of skills that you need to work on for IELTS. One is, of course, your English language ability in general. And the second is your IELTS skills, the test-taking strategies. Both of these go hand in hand. So you would have to also upscale or uplift your language ability in general, as well as targeted just for IELTS. And then there's nobody who can stop you from getting a fantastic score. And it is not tough. IELTS is not tough to crack until, again, I'm stressing on this fact, that you guys prepare for it. Like any other exam, if you put in a bit of effort, which we also put in from our side to make you understand how you have to take it, and then you practice, it is not difficult at all. Trust me. All right, so start your preparation early so that you understand where your weak areas are, and then you work on it. And I'm going to say that, always start with IELTS writing. So like Kunal is saying that, there are certain areas, of course, especially with writing, even if there's somebody, who says that, I do a bit of writing on my own every day, I'm good at it, I've written essays and all of that in school, and I think I have a knack for it. Well, you might. I'm not disregarding that. But again, I've told you, like, IELTS is asking for a specific kind of writing. So, in task 1, you have to identify data and you have to write about, make comparisons. They're going to give you graphs. And there are certain kinds of words that you have to use. If you don't, they won't give you that higher band in vocabulary. So that's what I'm saying. Even if in general, you might have a good hand over English, that's always a plus, because then you're not making basic errors. But then you also need to understand what IELTS is asking for, because if I'm trying to assess you on your fluency in speaking, and if you don't show me that, it wouldn't work. No matter what sort of fancy vocabulary you're flaunting, it wouldn't help, because I'm trying to assess you on fluency. So you need to understand the parameters on which they are trying to check you on, and then go on preparing accordingly. So try starting your prep, especially with IELTS writing, so that you understand and you get time, to develop your answers, to develop your language ability. And once you understand, okay, these are the kinds of words that you have to use, it wouldn't be a big deal after you practice a bit. So you don't have to memorize, anything or everything as such. While practicing, if you use those words, which of course we will give you, you would be able to manage using them, and they will come naturally to you. But before that, you need to do this exercise of going through the vocabulary with your trainer, and then use them while practicing. Right? Include those words and write answers. A lot of students also begin with listening and reading sections or other sections, which is also okay. You can start with the relatively, I'd say, easier sections and then go to writing, or the other way around. Anything works for you. Especially with IELTS, don't follow what I'd say that other people are doing. It's all very individual. So do what works for you, and work on areas which you feel you're confident with, or the other way around. Okay, one second. Ashwini, I got a conditional offer from UCW Jan Intake. Is there any possibilities I can take IELTS within this month? Absolutely. We also have this fast track program. Let me share the details here with you guys. Here. So we have different kinds of batches. Okay, morning, evening, regular, fast track. So those of you who are planning to take it within this month or so quickly, you could go for the fast track batch, which is a 2 weeks thing. So there would be 12 sessions involved with the trainer, 1.5 hours, Monday to Friday. So either you go for the afternoon class or the evening one, whatever is suitable for you. Or you could take up the regular batches. So if you're planning, let's say, to take the exam in January, February, or later on, so then you could start with your prep, take it a bit easy, you'd get more practice, you'd be able to connect with the trainer more, and then take your exam. So 1 month of these classes, all the 4 modules are dealt with. We will provide you with all the study material. So there's going to be a dashboard that you get to join. These classes are conducted virtually, but on our Leverage Live platform. So we have our own ecosystem where you'll get the study material as soon as you join. It's all there on your portal. You'll be able to see your schedule for the classes. All these classes will be recorded. So in case, you miss a session one day, you would be able to watch the recording. And even after your course is over, so let's say 2 weeks are done, you still haven't taken your test, or 1 week, 4 week, 1 month course is done, you still think you need more time, and you can revisit the sessions. And like I've told you, connect with your trainer also to solve your doubts, and send like writing answers for checking. There is no limit on the number of answers you can check. In fact, all of us, we have multiple instructors here, and encourage students to write as many answers as you can. The more you write, the better you'll get, and then you'll have a smooth sailing in your real exam. It won't be there won't be any pressure at all when you're prepared for it. So Monday to Friday, either morning or evening, and fast track batches are afternoon or evening. Whatever is suitable for you, you can join. And these are continuous batches, so you can connect with us as well. Okay, somebody's asking, do you guys help us to book the IELTS as well? Well, yes. So on your dashboard, again, you're going to find the link. And while you're booking, of course, you can ask your trainer which exam to book, how to go about it. It's a simple process, but you feel free to ask any questions while booking. It won't be an issue at all. You see, in the class, you don't have to just understand IELTS and all that. You can share where your problems are, when you should book it. You discuss that with your instructor, and then only book the exam. You don't have to pre-book it. While taking the classes, you would understand, okay, this is something I need to put a week more of practice, or now I'm prepared, I'm getting all the answers, I'm getting a good feedback from the trainer, so let me book it easily now. All the options are available. You don't have to pre-book it, of course. Okay, RG, can the exam be taken or booked anytime? Yes. So what happens, this exam is available throughout the year, 12 months. Every month in your city, you will find certain dates. So let's say in Delhi, there are 7-8 dates open, or even 10. So when you go to your website, they will show you that calendar, available slots, which are already booked, so on and so forth. So then you choose a date which, works for you. That's how it is. So throughout it is available. You can book it even like 10 days before you want to take the exam, if the slot is available. So always you have to keep a check on, in your city when these slots are there and all that. But usually you would get them. So it's like that. Okay, Kuber, so the IELTS score, for how many days is the score valid? You will have this validity for 2 years. So suppose you take your exam right now, you plan to take your admissions in next year, September, you can do it, no problem. So, apart from, once you make the payment, you'll be allotted a slot. You'll get to know when the next module is starting. And then you'll be also added to the WhatsApp groups we have. So anytime, use that for any queries. You can personally text your instructor also. So interaction is, of course, something that we promote in the class. So until and unless you speak up or clear your doubts, what's the point? So always make sure that you're talking and interacting, and making sure that you are on the right track with the preparation, and you keep discussing all of this with your trainer. Now, with writing, so like I mentioned, somebody also asked, writing is something that you have to, of course, keep a very strict eye on, because there are different kinds of skills that we have, active and passive skills when we have for writing. We are usually more passive when we are listening or reading. Of course, in a way, because information is fed into us and we are just trying to scoop out certain things. But with writing, it's all about us producing language. So we are very actively involved in it, and this is something that you need to develop. So you practice this writing skill. So every answer that you have in IELTS writing has like an introduction or a body paragraphs, conclusion. So you need to understand what goes into what, because there are many types of questions you get. So for each question, you have to understand how you have to go on writing the exam and what needs to be done or not. So that's what you get to know in the class. So if for those of you who feel that, especially for writing, you are weak at it. So one, I'd ask you to understand formal, informal writing, band scores for IELTS, structure for each answer, and then practice and get feedback, get those answers corrected from the instructor in order to enhance your ability. The next way in which you can prepare is to, of course, immerse yourself in English. So not just for IELTS, otherwise also, start speaking or interacting in English whenever you are listening to songs. Listen to some English ones as well. Listen to podcasts, fantastic way, no matter what theme or topic is going on. So let's say sports commentary, also news channels, watching certain documentaries, whatever you are interested in, but always try and take in language as much as possible and use it then. Because of course, while you're absorbing language, there would be certain words that you're going to forget later on, which is why you use them so that they form a part of your lexical resource and you would be able to use them in any context and later on as well. So start speaking in English and take this opportunity in the classes to get that interaction. So the speaking part also will be done in a batch. You'd get ideas from other people. You'd also understand that everybody's facing an issue with one thing or the other, so you're not alone in this. And then there's of course the trainer who is going to help you with sharpening your skills and telling you what to do and what not to do while you're speaking. So use the platform to get that opportunity to speak and practice. And in speaking, you don't have to learn answers, even though the instructors will provide you with sample answers, with vocabulary, with idioms, with recent exam questions, all of that, but never memorize an entire answer. IELTS is checking your ability to speak in English naturally. So you have to come up with things naturally. So even if you pick up certain phrases or words or idioms, you have to use them on your own instead of cramming up an entire answer and just pouring it out. So speaking naturally will help you to gain a higher score, and this comes to you with practice. Again, so once the trainer tells you, okay, this is how you can answer any question that you can't, get in IELTS, then you practice so that you're able to use those things and make them part of your everyday speech and hence speak naturally. Preparing for listening and reading also is equally important, because for an overall band, you would need to score a good band in all the 4 modules. So in both listening and reading, time is a big factor, especially with the reading section, because you have 1 hour to solve 40 questions and there are different kinds of questions and long passages. So time management is a skill that you would need to develop. So in the classes, we give you different strategies and tricks on how you can manage your time better, and for each question type also how you can solve it, which question you have to find in which part of the passage. You don't have to really understand everything, just get answers to your questions. So those strategies would help you to understand how to answer each question specifically. Okay, let me take up this question. How would be the IELTS exam? Online, or we need to visit anywhere? So there are 2 ways in which you take up the IELTS exam, either paper-based or computer-based. In both the cases, you would have to go to the test center and take your paper. IELTS is coming up with a new online edition, but that's going to be available next year, not as of now. So where you'll be able to take everything at home. As of now, you have the indicator exam, but not every university would accept it. So either you go for paper-based, which is you mark your answers on a sheet, or computer-based, but you would have to go to the test center and take it. All right, so one is of course time management, which is a big issue. Then second is structure, identifying how and how to go about writing answers plus speaking as well. So because speaking part 2 is where you have to give a longer answer, you have to speak for 2 minutes. So there needs to be a proper structure. So in the classes, you're going to learn how to do that. Official test papers, of course, the Cambridge ones are a great source of practicing. And of course, we are going to provide you with all the soft copies. You'll find the, test papers already on your dashboard when you enter, along with extra video material plus link to book your exam, plus supplementary materials, so vocabulary, sample answers for writing, for reading, extra practice. So apart from Cambridge test papers, and that too latest one including, you'd also find these extra study material to help you out with your preparation. So identifying, and you do that with the trainer, this is the area that you are lacking in, and then working on it is how you're going to prepare for the exam. And choosing the right type of exam. So of course TR has asked me about how you can take your exam. So either the paper based or the computer based, don't take that added pressure, whatever you are comfortable with. So while you are taking the classes, you feel that you won't be able to take the computer based test, don't go for it. Of course, don't take that additional pressure on you on this is what other people are doing, so I would also need to do that. Always go with your strengths. So even in the classes, if you feel you are still not sure of it, so let's say we are doing listening, so then some answers you can type on the chat box to understand if you're able to type side by side, or for some answers you can write your answers and see either paper based is working for you or computer based, and then you discuss that with your trainer. So choosing the right type of exam also is an important part of your preparation, so that in the exam, in the real exam when you're taking IELTS, you don't face any sort of additional burden. So you need to know what are the different features of both kinds of exams, of course, which we share with you when you join, and then you take up something which you are comfortable with. As simple as that. So you wouldn't have to worry about the study material, how to prepare, how you can improve, what sort of additional resources you require. All of that we are going to provide you with. Recorded sessions, study material, you have the experts to guide you. We keep interactions. You're not expected to stay mum or a passive listener in the class. Keep interaction at its core. So there are different exercises. Each and every question is dealt with. So the trainer would take you through all the parts of the exam and make you fully understand of how and what you need to do. So do not worry about a thing at all. All right then, thank you so much for joining in today. Keep watching this space for more such content. Every other day there's somebody or the other from Leverage Edu to help you out with your application and test prep. I'll also see you in my sessions, in some or the other session, whichever you join. But thank you so much for coming in today. All right, see you.